Hey there, hi there, ho there, everybody. It is week 16 NFL Rundown video time. I'm your buddy Choppadong. Of course, this video always brought to you by DFSArmy.com, your one-stop shop for all things daily fantasy sports. Head down into the comments section, use coupon code CHOP if I remember to even put the link down there. DFSArmy.com, coupon code CHOP, CHOP, gets you a 20% off discount each and every month you remain a member. It unlocks every tool, every projection, every coach, everything, every sport, every site, everything that we offer for one price. And I'm telling you right now, the monthly subscription is going up in 2021. You need to get in here now and lock in your price because you are grandfathered in. As long as you don't cancel and leave, you're grandfathered in forever. Forever. Our prices go up, yours stay the same. Get in there and lock that pricing down now because you're going to miss the boat. And we're producing winner after winner after winner all over leaderboards, all over the sites in daily fantasy sports every single day. This is the NFL Rundown video that we go and start trimming player pools, show you how to use some of the tools. And we bounce back in a series of videos for everybody else on the inside that covers other positions, wide receiver, tight end, defenses, whatever. We do a chalk check. Where's the public going to go? Where's the value going to be? We use ownership reports out of the domination station. Sometimes we spin up some lineups. Sometimes we talk about tracking your contests. Sometimes we talk about the difference between cash and GPPs. Sometimes we compare to the cheat sheets that the coaches offer and show you that our methodology works ahead of time so that you can play the guessing game with the coaches of, hey, I bet they're going to be on this guy or I bet they're going to be on that guy. And then you find out and build confidence in your own research abilities as we play this lovely game of football. And with NBA starting, we're going to transfer probably right into that, or hockey, or baseball, or whatever we decide to do as we go. As long as you keep giving me likes and keep giving me subscribes and keep giving me feedback that you like these videos, we're going to keep doing them each and every week, each and every day, whatever the hell it takes to make sure that you guys are better DFS players, because that's what I like to do. Now, follow me out on Twitter. Woohoo, Choppadong. Head into the research station. We're going to see how far we get with these today because it doesn't take long. And if we don't dilly-dally and talk too much, then we should really make some tracks here. Hit this little window button out here. Click that full-size workbook. Because right now we have sorting issues with the stupid domination state or research station. But once you click the new one, you get out to here. You can go right to the quarterbacks tab. Kick off those afternoon games. I don't know if this 4:30 game is going to be a problem again or not. I hope it's not. But I'm not going to go digging through and finding out which of these two teams are not on the main slate. We're just going to assume this is the main slate. Okay, for teaching purposes, when you find out what teams those are, you knock them off yourself and don't worry about it. But for quarterbacks, we're looking for home teams, favored quarterbacks, implied to score a lot of points. And then we're looking for kind of the cheapest viable option in there, or a running floor, or a good matchup, or whatever. And we're going to narrow our list down. We're not going to narrow it down to the one pick. I don't do that. I don't recommend you do that. Keep your damn mind open, right? We're going to narrow it down to, say, 3 or 4 or 5 sensible picks. And then as the week goes on and our research gets a little bit more pointed, a little bit more specific, then we can narrow it down to the best one. Because sometimes it's better to pay low so that you can come up at running back. Sometimes it's better to pay high because you've got 3 valued wide receivers down in there. Whatever. That's going to ebb and flow every single week. But I'm going to show you how to narrow these things down. And the first thing that you do is you slide on over to the Vegas lines, take that spread or take that implied team total, sort it by, big numbers to the top if you want. These are your heavy favorites. These are some of your favorites. They're all implied to score over about 25 points. Historically speaking, 24 points and above leads to fantasy value. Being favored, being at home are positive game scripts that mean points got scored. And when points got scored, your quarterback was involved. 9 times out of 10. So we want to pick the best of the best scenarios. I may slide over a little bit, look for opponents' points a lot. Ooh, Atlanta, Detroit, New Jersey, Jacksonville, sexy, sexy. Right? These are the guys that we're going to be focused on. Patrick Mahomes, duh. Brady on the road, no. Breeze, maybe. How them ribs, dude. Baker Mayfield, interesting, against the Jets. He's on the road, but he's going to be favored. He's going to be implied to score points. He's cheaper, right? 9,400 or 7,600. You want that $2,000? What are you going to do with it? Shit, over on DraftKings, 8,500 versus 65. You want 2,400? What are you going to do with it? Lamar Jackson. All right, is Lamar Jackson better against the Giants than Mahomes against Atlanta? I don't know. Is it $600 better? I don't know. Maybe. That's going to depend on you and where you want to take the rest of your lineup this week. But these are probably your guys. Trubisky, probably not. Kyler Murray, maybe in the grand scheme of things, right? Justin Herbert, maybe in the grand scheme of things, right? Jalen Hurts, rushing floor, going up against Dallas. Maybe you like that matchup. But looks like we're gonna have a lot of sensible options. How are you going to narrow it down? Well, you might go into our NFL research lab, right? And while that loads up, you might start picking and choosing from floors and steady point production and all that good stuff. But in the meantime, let's dive over into running backs and let's do the same thing. Once the running backs load up, I kick off those afternoon games again, and I'm looking for the exact same thing. I'm looking for home, favored, implied to score a lot of points. If I want, I can bring all of the high implied totals to the top. The big heavy favorites also have heavy game script working for them. Clyde Edwards-Helaire and Le'Veon Bell, no, committee. I don't touch committees. If we got wind that Clyde Edwards-Helaire was out and Le'Veon Bell was going to be getting more of the workload, then okay, now maybe we're talking. Fournette, McCoy, Keyshawn Vaughn, I don't know. Fournette let us down last week, right? Oftentimes it makes sense to be 1 week early and then go right back to the well, because sometimes you get that you're a week early on your pick. Kamara, obviously. Now, are they at home? That's what I want to know. They are. I know he and Latavius Murray split some time. I know Drew Brees likes to dump it off to him. I'd check his target numbers. Did his target numbers come back up to 6 to 8 targets last week? If they did, Kamara's squarely back in play no matter what kind of day he had. Dude can break any slate. Nick Chubb versus the Jets. I know he's on the road, but if I come over here and look at the opponents allowed, the Jets are not a terrible running defense. They're not allowing a ton of fantasy points, right? But I can get a sense of where I'm looking. The other thing that I'm going to do, because now, unlike quarterback, running back is a volume type position. So when I sort this by descending order by the volume guys and watch the Vegas numbers, I want favorites and I want implied to score points. Dalvin Cook, not in a great situation this week, but he gets volume and he can break any slate. But he's probably more of a GPP type of play. James Robinson, questionable with a knee. I don't want to take a 7.5 point underdog with a questionable knee when he's only implied to score 20 points. That ain't my thing. That's not cash safe. GPP, sure. Throw him out there in a big nickel contest or something like that. Maybe he smashes and has 2 touchdowns or whatever. But I'd be looking at a Nick Chubb. Maybe a Kenyon Drake again, depending on Kyler Murray rushed one in last week again. So when we go through looking for these guys with the Drake and the Kyler Murray and whatnot, David Montgomery smashed the last 3 weeks, and I will show you something out of the research lab here in a second when it comes to that. But Miles Sanders, is he getting the targets and the touches? He's only getting 13 at rushing attempts. He's getting, 4 receptions or 4 targets for him? That's 17. We want over 18. My goal, I follow my buddy Smiz over on YouTube, and he always preaches about 3 running backs, 20 touches each. He wants a total of 60 touches from his running backs in the cash game lineup. That's what you're looking for when it comes to running backs. That makes a ton of sense. It's so simple. Give me the home favored, implied to score a ton of points, guy who's going to get me around 15 to 20 touches depending on his price point, so that I can get close to 60 touches among 3 running backs with 1 in the flex, and I'm sitting pretty. And that ain't going to be Frank Gore. Alvin Kamara, it is. With the 11 rushing attempts and the 7 targets, there's your 18. Okay? So that's how you're looking at these guys. That's how you're going to go through and start paying attention to this stuff. When I go to the research lab and I open up the rushing analysis, I just go fantasy points scoring. If I want to kick off, and this is why this tool is so damn important to study trending and whatnot information. If I go to running back and I decide to say, give me Cook and give me, I don't know, Miles Sanders and David Montgomery. When I put Montgomery in there, look at his numbers the last 3 weeks. He's right up there with anybody. What changed here? Play calling duties changed. Maybe this is the case going forward with Montgomery. Montgomery last 3 weeks has been cash safe. I would not have said so after week 1. I would have said, let me see it again. But the minute it was let me see it again, there's no reason to think that anything is going to change. This was crap all year long, but look at what it's done when there's a simple change. Look at what's happened with Dalvin Cook, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Floor is generally okay. Ceiling is through the roof, right? And if you look at somebody like a Miles Sanders, low, 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 with a good week in there, you need to study these things. You need to come back. Let's look at Alvin Kamara trending down. This is the Taysom Hill effect, right? Look at Nick Chubb generally coming back up. Viable. Give me home, give me favored, give me implied to score points, and Nick Chubb is probably viable. Positive game script, everything else working for him. Okay? This is what this tool can help you do. And you can compare 3 dudes side by side by side and take a look at which one. So when you narrow down your player pool to which one of these guys do I want to be looking at, Nick Chubb, Kenyon Drake, David Montgomery, call them up in the research lab, look at their fantasy point scoring, look at their targets and their touches or whatever, look at them side by side by side, and make a call. Use your price points to kind of determine, maybe I want the lower owned guy, maybe I want the cheaper guy, maybe I want whatever. But start formulating your list, start narrowing it down. I'm telling you, Dalvin Cook can be on just about any slate, any cash game, but he's not in a good situation this week. James Robinson, not in a good situation this week. But Chubb is, Drake's okay, Montgomery is in a pretty good situation again. If you can get a Miles Sanders or something like that, we can come down to Kamara, some of these others that will pop up on other people's lists, the healthy Chris Carson, whatever. These are the types of guys that you're going to want to look for. If Tony Pollard gets the start again next week, these are guys you're going to want to look for. Let's go over to the wide receivers and let's show you a little bit of how we do that, because I'm going to talk about 2 things when it comes to wide receivers. I no longer care about home and away. I don't care about that. There's no significant evidence that shows that home receivers play better than away receivers like it does the other positions. What I am looking for is target volume, red zone work, and implied points. The implied points help. They're not the end-all be-all, but the implied points definitely help. If I take the team total and go descending order again, bring all the big numbers to the top, I want to stick with the guys over 27 points, and there's a lot of them this week. So it looks like Baltimore, Cleveland, New Orleans, Green Bay, Tampa Bay are the teams that I should sort of be targeting for the teams that are going to have enough fantasy points spread around through their offenses that we're going to see some goodness for some of the receivers. That's how that usually works. The other one that we look for is we look for ascending order and bring the bad numbers to the top. I don't want the zeros. But if I see under 18 points, it's usually the Jets, which in this case, it's the Giants. So your Sterling Shepard, Darius Slayton, Golden Tate types, whoever's getting the targets and the love on that team, if we scroll over and look, who be getting the targets? Nobody really, but Sterling Shepard looks like he gets the most. Shorter A-dot type stuff, shorter air yards, probably with this 5 receptions out of 7 attempts versus 3 and 6, whatever. Probably your possession type receiver, garbage time. And it works. It matters when it comes to Vegas and it comes to low points. So your Jets are down here too. That's where your Crowders, Mims, Perryman, and whatever come in. And DJ Chark even. It's where these guys come in. Jacoby Myers this week is not having a good, Demir Bird, probably not. But Jacoby Myers, golly, what's the other guy? N'Keal Harry. If you can find the targets in these teams, you're set up. If you find a steady Eddie possession receiver, that's where you're finding your garbage time with these guys, okay? But the other thing that I really want to note is I want to take the targets per game and actually go in descending order. I want the big dogs up top, and I want these guys in my lineups as much as possible. And are we going to see any cheap guys this week? Looks like Deontay Johnson might be in there. Robbie Anderson, Cooper Kupp, Amari Cooper, Tyler Lockett, Juju Schuster. I don't know. Nothing there really stands out to me. It doesn't look like we're getting tremendous value. DJ Chark was in the garbage time situation. Cole Beasley sometimes can be a little sexy if John Brown is out. CeeDee Lamb, T. Higgins. These are guys that I've used throughout the year. Sterling Shepard, guys that I've used throughout the year. Those are my low-end value type receivers. Those are the names that I'm going to start deciphering through. And then I'm going to come over here and I'm going to look at red zone work, and I'm going to see these guys. And these are the guys, again, that we're going to want to focus on. Juju Schuster, 16 targets in red zones. Interesting. That's how you go through narrowing these player pools down using these tools. Come back for part 2. We'll do tight ends and defenses, and we'll talk a little bit more about some other stuff. But this is how you get it done. I'm your buddy Choppadong, DFSArmy.com. Hit the like button while you're down there, and let's rock out Week 16, folks. Peace out.